Treasure Wednesday. How excited are we all? Oh my gosh, there's lots of us on here. Hi, Joanne. Dizzy, hello, first time. Wow, welcome. But I've been watching replays. Oh, thank you. Really looking forward to being live tonight. Well, Dizzy, thank you so much. It's lovely to have you here. Marg, yeah, welcome, Dizzy. Yeah, is it Dizzy? I hope I'm saying it the right way. Barbara, hi, are we? Who else have we got here? Anne, hi, Anne, and Ruth. How are we all? Doreen, oh my gosh, we're all getting in here. This is fantastic. Hope you've all had a lovely day yesterday. Hi, Sandra and Anne. Yeah, we welcome Dizzy. We welcome all new people here. Dizzy, if you've got friends that do it as well, the little deal I have, you invite a friend, they sign up with their website, with their email on my website, and you both get a $10 voucher. You've just got to let me know and make sure the email is in there. Okay, so welcome. Don't forget, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that notification bell, and stalk me on Facebook or Instagram, because that's where you'll get all different things where I share and tell new things and when new fabrics and that come out as well. So I hope we've all had a great couple of days. It's been a bit chilly, bit of rain here. We've had rainy days, and apparently there's a lot more coming, so I've heard. So tonight we've got our Treasure Hunt Wednesday that we all love to have. And who's going to use their $5 voucher on that one from the trivia quiz? Hi, Ken. How are you going? Oh, Ken's watching. Yay. I'll have to remember to say ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Yeah, so I hope you'll probably use your $5 vouchers. Now, you notice here, I haven't even cleaned up from the other night. I've left it because I want to show you the borders. We're going to do touch on borders, and this one was another one that I did for it. Plus, just a reminder, the elephant fabric, we have lots of elephant fabric. It's going. You ladies are having a lovely time buying it and everything, which is great. Where are you from, Dizzy? I'd love to hear where you're from. We're going to touch on borders tonight. I just thought I'd bring that one up. I don't think anyway. Always suggest something. Please give me ideas, what you want to hear, what you want to learn, or anything like that. I'm happy to do that. Hi, Jeff thinks you're so great. And oh, thanks, Jeff. Oh, we got a couple of guys here. Wonderful. Are they your cutters? The guys are usually the cutters. In Brisbane, lovely to see you. Katrina, how are we? Yeah, the guys are usually the cutters, aren't they? You usually say, can you cut this for me? Well, I sew. With me, no, guys. We just have meat. Okay, so where are we going to go with borders? So, ladies, when you make your quilt and you put your borders on, I just sort of touch on a couple of ones, and I've got another one I'll do another night, but these ones I'm going to touch on your straight borders and your mitered borders, okay? Easy, simple way. Do I ever do anything hard? No, it's always easy the way I do it. So, Barbara's in, yeah, wonderful. Yeah, I'm an ex-Brisbane, well, sort of ex-one. I'm up Sunshine Coast I've come from to move here to Woodburn in New South Wales. And I was a Wynnum person. Hi, April. How are we tonight, Dale? So, yeah, it's with your borders. Now, if you send your quilts away when you're going to get them quilted, have the long armers ever mentioned to you where your borders have a little bit of a wave? Okay, so you might have a wave in them. You don't totally see it straight away, but when you lay it out flat, it gets that wave. Hi, Margot. How are you, Dale? You get that little wave. Can I just say, Margot, thank you very much. Margot was the first one and only one so far that has put a picture up under Mad Hair Monday. Even though it was not mad hair, but it was very pretty with the flower. Thank you, Margot. So yeah, it's you get that wave in it. Okay, so this is a way to stop getting the wave, because long arms, it's very hard when you put it on a long arm to actually get rid of that wave. Friendly borders, yes we do, Rhonda, yes. Unfortunately can't go over them at the moment because the yeah, all my family are up there. I haven't seen my son since this has all been locked down, or my mum, but mum's on here. Hi, mum. Yeah, so family above there, and I just not allowed to go up there. So I'm going to show you the easiest way to do it. So I'm going to bring out the trusty dusty A4 piece of paper to explain how to measure your quilt for putting a border on. Okay, so make sure your corners are square. And I did put a ruler here. Yes, here it is. Okay, so hey, Joanne, to actually square up your corners. So you always square up your corners in that first. Square up your quilt, right? So you just put it on the ruler and square up your corners. All right, do the same thing on the other side. So then you're totally square. Okay, that's why I use a bit of paper. It's easier than trying to hold fabric up. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to measure across the top, the bottom, and the middle. So we want 3 different measurements, or 3 measurements of what you are going to put across. Now, when you put borders on, Joanne's got the night off too. Are you off, Margot, or you're at work? Okay, so when you're putting the borders on, I always, if the quilt is actual one that stands like it's top to bottom, it faces this way, I'll always put the top on first, the bottom on second, and then put the sides on it. It gives it that longer angle for a rectangle for a quilt. If it's a square one, it doesn't matter what side, because it's always going to be square, okay? It's going to look that way. So what we're going to do is measure across, because what we want to know is if, and you can bet your bottom dollar, that they're not always going to be the same. You might be a little 1/8 of an inch out or a 1/4 of an inch difference between them. Okay, so let's just say, for example, this is 10 inch across here. We have 10 and 1/2 here, or 10 1/4, and a 10 1/8. We'll just average it out, okay, and just measure them all at 10 1/8. Okay, an 1/8 is really, really pathetic, sort of a one. I wonder if I put my hand up behind it. An 1/8, get a ruler that's got a bit of marking. An 1/8 is only that little one right next to it. Okay, and then there's a 1/4. So just average it out, round up, all right, and cut your borders, the top and the bottom, to that size. Then what you're going to do is you're going to, I'll get a colour that shows up on the paper. You're just going to fold it in half, okay, fold it in half, and then I like to fold it in half again, okay. Then I just give it a finger press. Now how to try my sides and middle are never the same. No, you just live with it, but this is an easy way, guys, just to not get that wave in your borders. And it happens, especially if it's block quilts and that, because fabric does have stretch, ladies. Don't worry about that. Fabric has stretch. Mine has about 2%, okay, which is a very low standardy sort of one. But there's lots of others. If it's a bit more open weave, it's going to have a lot more stretch in it. So when you're putting a lot of bits of fabric together, because that's what we love to do, it will have a bit of stretch. It just gives it a bit of a difference. But just average it out, okay? Fold it into 4. Fold your quilt into 4. And I guess we're doing top to bottom, aren't we? Fold it into 4, okay? Give them a finger press, and then basically just match the middle first. Okay, this is a little trick. You match the middle first and pin it. Trusty pin. Okay, it goes through paper. All right, pin it. But then pin your edges. Now this would be cut to the size, okay? Just pretend that's the edge there. And you cut it. You pin it to the edges. Because then when you get to that 1/4 one that you've actually folded, you match that up, and you might just find you just have to stretch that little bit of in there to match that little bit in between the quarters, all right, just to get that even pin across, all right, because if you just sew a border on, all right, if you're just going to sew it on, it's not fabric when it's on itself, all right, we get into a little bit of a sewing machine thing here. Feed dogs on the bottom. That's what pulls your fabric through. So it's pulling the bottom one through, okay? The foot on the top goes up and down. So when you've only got 2 pieces, it's usually enough for the pressure of the foot and the feed dogs to bring them through at the same time. But there's the odd time, if your machine's out a bit or something, it might just uneven them, okay? So that can happen. That's why we use that 4-letter pins, okay? I don't know, we'll use pins on. Okay, so then you put your top and bottom. Very busy on the highway today. Tonight, you all know I'm on the Pacific Highway. There's a lot of trucks going past. We've got to give our hands up to them and to the, you know what, and to the people that have the truck companies, because they've kept them going. They haven't sacked them or nothing and said give up. They've actually kept them going for us. All right, so we're going to put them on. Now, I always iron my seams to the border, because most of the time you've got a block that's got lots of seams in it and it's hard to iron down on. So I always iron to the border. Okay, then all you do is iron it out, and then you just measure it and do the same thing. Fold it into 4, measure across 3, average it out, cut your border that size, fold it into 4, pin it in the 4 places, and put it on, and you'll find you won't get those rimples, and your long arm person will love you, okay? Because that's really hard on a long arm when you've got rimples in your borders, all right? So that's how I put borders on, just straight. Didn't put a quilt here that has straight borders, but just straight, okay? We all know what they're like. Mitered ones. Who has done mitered borders? Do you sew with border fabric on top or underneath? Oh, it'll be right sides together. Okay, so you've got right sides together. Oh, doesn't matter. You're sort of saying when you put the right sides together here, get the right colour that shows up against the paper. So if you put right sides together, Dizzy, like that, do you sew it this way or do you sew it that way in the machine? Basically, I would have, if it's a block quilt and there's lots of seams, right, I want to make sure, I always put the seams up the top so I can make sure they're going the right way. Because once they're underneath, they usually all come towards you, and it might be a case that that block you've ironed it the other way. So I will put the border underneath, okay? And then I, when I'm sewing, the block itself, right, so if I put a border on, then I can watch where these seams are going, okay? Make sense? Yeah. Okay, so that is it. Now, who's done mitered ones? Mitered borders. These are pretty snazzy and cool to do. All right. This is probably one you're going to rewind and watch. It's a bit like Mad Hair Monday today. I did actually just brush it, ladies, but it's just gone with the wet weather. Mine's so fine, it goes a bit frizzy. Okay, so with was organised. So with the with your mitered corners, what you're going to do, I always have a little stash here. Not good at it. Okay, Margot, here's the great tip about it. Okay, so let's pretend that even if you want to miter a border around a block or a quilt, this works exactly the same way. It does look like Mad Hair, yeah. Okay, so yeah, so this is a 10-inch square. So I'm just using it on a 10-inch square. So pretend it's a block, quilt, whatever. What we're going to do is you need to measure your quilt, all right? And I'm going to put a 2.5-inch border on it, okay? So you measure the quilt, the top and bottom. Okay, you've squared it up, top and bottom, so you've got 10 inches. It's going to be a 2.5-inch border, so double that figure, which is 5 inches. Okay. Wait, Dicey, this is so easy. Okay, so you're going to double, so you've got 5 inches, so we're going to have 10 inches plus 5 inches, and then we just add 4 inches, so it's 19. So whatever your quilt size, if it's 30, okay, 30 inches across, and you're going to put a 5-inch border on it, double it, that gives you 10 inches, so you're now up to 40, add 4 inches, 44. That's the formula to do your mitered borders, what size you need to cut them, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to sew them on. Now, I think I did this in a colour that you can actually see. Okay, so I've sewn them on. This is the big important thing. I don't have many rules, as you guys know, but this one is a real big rule. You need to start it. Is that the one I didn't? No, I didn't do it. But you need to start it a 1/4 inch. Maybe easier on this side. That's a thread, right? So a 1/4 inch from the edge. Hi, Jenny. How are you? So a 1/4 inch from it. That's actually the back thread there, right? So a 1/4 inch. You need to leave a 1/4 inch there between the border and the block or quilt. All right. So you put your needle down. Hand it down, wheel it down, so it's a 1/4 inch in. Sew along and stop. Hi, Karen, how are you? Stop at a 1/4 inch as well. Okay, so go real slow, can't do this one fast, and back stitch them. Okay, back stitch a little bit. All right, and you're going to put your top and your bottom ones on like that. Okay, you're going to iron them out so that they go towards the border. All right. And then we're just going to go back to that form. Now, flappy bits on the end, that's okay. We're going to have these little ones here. We're going to leave them there. That's okay. We're going to iron it to the border. And then what we do is we need to measure across here. Okay. Hi, Gail. A bit late. That's okay, sweetie. You can always rewind me. You know that. You can see me later. And you're actually just in time for the mitered ones. All right. So this ends up being 14.5 inches across. So we just do that formula, 14.5, the borders are 2.5, so I double it, that's 5 inches. 14.5 plus 5 is 19.5, add 4 inches, okay? And that gives you, you're adding 4 inches, and that gives you 19, 23.5, okay? So you cut it at 23.5. So then what you'll do is you will sew it. so here's my top one. All right, and here's the side I want. This is the one I've cut at 23 and a half. Okay, the orange one. And I'm going to do the same thing. Just move this top one out of the way. And we're going to start, it's easier to see on this side. I'm going to start it 1/4 of an inch in. So you're literally starting where that other needle stopped, right? And you're going to put it straight in there. You're going to work along and do exactly the same. I haven't cut the threads off. Sorry, Lotus. The little thread doesn't make a difference. But yeah, you're going to stop exactly in that same spot where the needle stopped from the top and bottom. You're going to put it in there. Okay? So you'll have it that way. Hi, Yvonne. How are you? Doesn't matter if you guys are late as long as I'm not late. That's the main thing. All right. So then you're going to iron them again so that it goes towards the border. Okay? And what you're going to end up with is... I'm going to hold it up. So you'll end up with a corner that looks like this. You've got those extra bits. That's okay. All right. Then what you're going to do is you're going to fold. Now, this is either your block or your quilt. What you do, I'm going to see if I can list it here. And you're just going to bring it up, because I'm going to do this corner. I'm going to bring it up and fold it in half exactly in the diagonal. All right. And then line the borders up exactly. Okay. So they're lined up and we've got them right there. Oh, show the red side better. All right. And you've got them in there. All right, now they'll be ironed towards there, okay, but I'm doing it that so you can see it. All right. Then what you do is you get your ruler. I'm doing it all up here because moving the camera can be a bit tricky. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to then get your 45-degree angle on here. Line it up on your stitching. Hang on. Line it up on your, no, I was right the first time. I'm looking at it upside down and backwards. Sorry, arthritis. All right. And you're going to put it on the fold of, need to hold it up a bit. Put it on the fold, right, the edge of the ruler on the fold of your block or quilt. And you'll line your 45-degree angle. Doing this, there we go. That's what we need. And if I just move it that way a bit, then I can get it that way. All right. And then what you're going to do is just mark, got this right? See, I'm doing this. Let me just do this again. Okay, I've got a corner here where I've done it on. Okay. Yep, I'm doing it right. Okay, so you're going to do it this way. You've got the ruler edge, the fold. You put that on there. And what you do is you bring, these are up here. I'll do a stack. You know what? I might even just move this camera in a minute. See if I can hold it up. There we go. So you've got it as if it's extending out from that fold. And you're going to mark across here. Okay? I finally got my hands and everything coordinated. You're going to go across here. Alright, when you do that, you can see it on one of the ones I've done here. I've done a pen mark. Alright, there it is folded. I've done a pen mark on there, or a mark, and then used it as my sewing line. But you have to start exactly in that same spot that those other ones finished. Okay, so that one has got the start of the top, right, start or stop at the top border. It's got the start of the top, stop of the side border, and it's now got the start of you doing this angle out. All right, to extend it. Does that make sense? Okay, do not chop these off just yet, because what you need to do is open it up, and this is the drum roll moment. And look, I've now got a mitered corner. There's no puckers or anything like that. Okay, so now you know that if it is a little bit puckered or something like that, just unpick it, because it's only just you've missed that little one. You're going to give this a go now, Dicey, I hope so. All right, you've just missed that little spot. Okay, so just unpick it and do it again. I call it a practice tool. It is handy dandy right next to my sewing machine. It is a practice tool, because I didn't do that quite right. I need to practice it again. So it's not an unpicker, it's a practice tool, ladies. Think of it that way. All right, you always, practice makes perfect. So we just have to unpick it and do that. All right. So then what you do is you will trim it off, which I didn't do. I can do that now. Let me trim that one off. All right, now I'm going to sort of eyeball this at 1/4 inch. All right, which it's not, but that's close enough. All right. And when you iron these, call mine Jack. Oh my God, I've never seen this way before. Oh, Margot, this is so easy. When you're ironing these, you actually will open up this seam at the back on that mitre. All right, open it up. And then because you've ironed... Oh, who we got there? Sorry, they disappear on me. Oh, yeah, two all have come in. Hi, Rhonda. Yeah, it is simple. You'll open this one up, and then this one just lays flat inside. It's a bit hard to see on here, and sorry, guys, I haven't really... Oh, Jack the Ripper. Good on you, Joanne. Yeah. So, yeah, that will... It's just that I'm fiddling with it. Sorry, ladies, it's a bit hard. But, yeah, open this one up. They will go, and it lays flat, and that will give you a lovely mitered corner. How simple are they? That's amazing, isn't it? Just nice and simple like that. Now, if you want it, here's a tricky one. I didn't have any stripe fabric because I don't use a lot of stripe fabric. Just letting you know, that's my OCSD. Stripe fabric's very hard for me to use because I can't deal with the wavy lines real well. But if you want to put a striped border on, all right, when you cut your border, have one side where the stripe is straight. All right, so you're going to put your ruler on and cut it that way. And then just put a pin or a clip on that side. You don't need, yeah, I don't use them that much. But one day I'll get some stripes and we'll give this a go. All right, so you're going to make sure that one is the one that you've lined up the stripe exactly. So when you cut your other borders, okay, you do exactly the same thing. Get that same coloured stripe, the same pattern stripe or whatever, and you cut it exactly and make sure you pin that edge, because if you put that edge onto your quilt top, like that's the part you sew on, right, and you sew it with this one, when you do the miter, they actually come together, right, and they'll all meet the stripes. Haven't given it a go because I'm not a very good stripe user, okay? Yeah, so how's that? So how to put your borders on straight so you don't get those wavy lines, okay? So the long arm quilter loves you to bits, and even for yourselves. Yeah, a border fabric, totally, Darcy, the same thing. So with a border fabric, okay, just make sure whatever the pattern is that you want to make it to meet, so it's do as the same as the do. Really? Yeah. Yeah, hey, I get it that some of you love to use stripes and everything. It's just not me, but I do know how to do it. So, yeah, do as I say, not as I do. Yeah, stripes here. So when you put the border fabric, Dicey, when you put it together, as long as you've cut them all the same, like you've cut them all at the same point of the fabric pattern, and you make sure that's the side that goes on the quilt, right? That will match up your borders so your pattern comes up and will meet. Okay? How easy. Nice and easy. I know what you're all sitting there for too. Was that enough information? We've got Treasure Hunt Wednesday. First, Treasure Hunt Wednesday's coming. Definitely, and I'm watching the time because in 7 minutes they all go live. Have to give this method a go. Yeah, it's a nice, easy method. So, whatever the size of your border is that you want to put on, that you measure it, clear as mud. Come on, Katrina, just watch it again. You'll catch up. It's okay. I'll stick with plain fabric. Yeah, I'm a plain fabric one too, Sandra. Dots or something swirly that doesn't need to match up. That's what I like. See, this border, easy peasy here. This border here, I actually made it with the leftover fabric from the blocks. I'll do that one on another night. Been making baby bottles, so missed that. Oh, sorry, Katrina, but you can actually watch me again. Just you watch it through the Facebook one for after this, because the YouTube one just takes a little while to load up. It's funny how it does that. Jane, thank you so much for sending in that. We'll work it out together. Yep. Jane sent me an email to say, you know, that little 2.5 inch ruler. Sewing Revolution have them, so you can do that. There was also a link in underneath my Facebook page for the same thing, and I think it was a different place or something. Sorry, I didn't write that one down because I thought you guys would have all seen it as well. So if you want one of those, don't forget, subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. Stalk me on Facebook or Instagram. Put your email in my newsletter, in my website. It's always good to have it there for when I give you out vouchers. Hello, am I good at giving out vouchers? I love giving out vouchers. So yeah, make sure you got your email address in there. If your email address doesn't reflect your name, just put your first name in there. That'd be really great. Alexandra was one I had to contact. All right, Treasure Hunt Wednesday. This is how it works. Dizzy, you haven't done this before, but here we go. So what happens is items I have put on for a special price are hidden throughout my website that you have to go. Oh, yes, you have, Margot. Thank you. A few of you have used them. It's wonderful. I thought it was a nice little surprise, just to say thanks for joining in on the quiz. Oh, in a couple of weeks or next week maybe, I'll do a keyboard border. I'll show you how to work those out as well. I love keyboard borders. We could have a scone workshop. Yes, definitely. Jenny, and you know what? I can actually travel to Scone because it's in New South Wales and I'm allowed to travel soon, 1st of June. Yeah, wasn't fast enough last week. I'll do a keyboard border. Let's get going with what's on for Treasure Hunt because they're going to go live very shortly and you guys are all going to disappear, aren't you? We've got some 5-inch squares, and yes, I have thrown one packet of elephant ones in there. Just remember, it doesn't go, once it's in your cart, it's not sold till you click OK, and it's all good. Called it template marker. Thanks, Jane. I knew that. I wrote down Sewing Revolution, but I didn't. Okay, so you've got some fern leaf ones, some ones there, black and whites, and one lot of elephants. They're marked down from $15 to $5. I put a funky picnic kit in there. The funky picnic is normally $65 and I've done it down to $50. All right, we've got the elephant 10-inch pack, $45 down to $35. Oh, found these too. Usually sell them at the shows and I thought I'd put a couple of them on here. I haven't got them on the website. Some triangles. These are all pinks. This is a little retro ones, normally $20 down to $10. I put a pink 2.5 meter pack in for $10. And I've got a squared up kit that has some binding in it. And that's from $65 down to $50. I think that's it. Is that enough for you to all go hunt? I hope so. So go and have a look around. Hunt in there. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And happy sewing, everyone. And don't forget Saturday, workshop weekend. Might do a little quiz. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I never usually do till a couple of days before. So we'll do a little workshop weekend. And please send in some suggestions of what you want me to show you. Hope you've learned a lot with the borders, how to put a border on and everything. So thank you so much, everyone. Have fun treasure hunting. Love yous works. Have a great night. Bye. Thanks, everyone. See you, Karen. See you, Margot. And lovely to see you, Dizzy. Thank you so much for joining and hope to see you on Saturday or next Monday or Wednesday. Bullseye Quilts. You want that one again, Katrina? No problem, sweetie. There is a YouTube for that now. Margot, Yvonne, Ruth, Jane. Thanks. Oh, thank you so much, Jane. Anne, Sandra. You were all so good tonight. Katrina, Dizzy. Thanks, Nighty Night. All right. Thanks, Jenny. Bye.